And there's some that don't, there's some that do. Some that you put the meter there and you don't see the EMS rise, but it's actually emanating from the side of it. So we have to be careful and really, if we're going to test it, test the whole device to make sure if you put a device on it to block the stem cells, I have them on my phone to make sure that it's really working. The best thing to do is put that doggone thing on airplane mode and don't have it up to your head at all, because that is one of the problems. Put it in your pocket will cause breast cancer. Put it in the back pocket will cause testicular cancer with men, and then kidney tumors and cysts by just putting it in your pocket. So don't do that. So again, healthy stem cells, you're going to pull away from the things that's going to cause destruction to our body. These are real simple things. If you're living in a building where they have smart meters, or you have a house with a smart meter, those are going to rob you of your stem cells too. You're not going to build up healthy stem cells with a smart meter attached to your house. So, but there are covers you can put on it. If you live in a townhouse or a unit where they have them there, you need to just get something for you. There's a device you can put over your bed to protect you while you're sleeping at night. So we can get into that later. But again, to have healthy stem cells is to be happy. One little situation happened with me, and I actually, I tripped today, but about 5 years ago, I was on Wilshire Boulevard. I was in a big hurry. I went to go get something, and I parked on the street, but I knew I had enough time to go and get my car out the street before they came to check the meter. But I actually did not. So I'm running across the street, and I had on those shoes that everybody was wearing, you know, those nice, comfortable looking, rubbery looking shoes. They used to be so comfortable. So some Crocs. Yeah, that was maybe 10 years ago. But anyway, so here I am. So I stepped off the curb and I fell. And a gentleman was like a few feet ahead of me. Now I fell, hyperextended this hand, broke all the blood vessels in this hand here. But when he came back and said, "Lady, I heard this hard sound, like the smash to the ground. What car hit you?" And I laughed so hard. When they picked me up off the ground, I was still laughing because he thought I was struck by a car. It was my big body hitting the sidewalk. And I'm telling you, I laughed so hard, I laughed myself totally out of pain.
What?
I had no pain in my hand. I laughed so hard.
Wow.
You know, so laughter, I know it's so healing. It's so healing. And so stimulating the body, what do we do? You know, right now we want to love our eyes, love our brain. You know, go through and just love yourself. And when you start loving yourself, then you're releasing wonderful healing mechanisms to the body to help the body to heal. Laughter is number one. Stay off these phones with all these negative people. So you know what? I'll call you back. Not even I'll call you back. I gotta go. You know, I gotta go. And when the people bring stuff to me about others, a lot of time I say, you know what? Let's just pray for them, and then get off the phone. You know, the best thing to do. I was sitting in somebody's church years ago, and this lady wanted to sit there and gossip about all the people there. I said, just pray for them. I don't want to hear it. Just pray for them. So don't take that into your consciousness. Go to bed with positive things. Program yourself the night before for a great day for the next day. And I do. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to spring out of bed. I'm going to do my exercise and do this. So everybody stand up with me right now. You're going to take your legs. You're going to really start at the knee, at your knees, and you're going to take your knees and you're going to go back and forth. Just your knees. She's already ahead.
She got her hips.
Okay, I know. And then you're going to bring it to the hips, and you're going to shake. Then you're going to shake your shoulders. Okay, shake. And you do this for about 15 seconds. 15 seconds. You know, your shoulders, the body got to really be going. There you go, Tomasa. There you go. And Debbie is
Things are
too.
shaking. I didn't know.
Oh my goodness. It's like you're on the machine, you know? And when you let go, so stop. Don't you feel that?
Energy.
You feel the energy. So when you get out of bed, if you first do that, you have just woke up your lymphatic system. You have got everything circulating. And then if you take your hand and go over to your knee and do this, you're waking up your brain. You do a couple of those in the morning. And then, you know, if you're going to go exercise, so sorry, hit your leg.
Knock your brain out.
You are now stimulating your brain. You now stimulated your body. And doesn't that feel good? Yeah. So those things, you don't have time to wake up and feel sad.
No.
You don't have time.
Amen.
So I just want to say that, spontaneous healing, I've seen a lot of it. I'm going to share one little story before I finish up here. And it has to do with prayer. And we all pray for others. When people are on my mind, I can't get to them, like my dear friend here has always been on my mind, I just send you prayers. And when I can't reach certain people, I just send you prayers.
Nice.
I always do. And there was a situation, actually this was told by Dr. Carolyn Miggs. And I was wondering at the time I was listening to her, I'm a Christian and blah, blah, blah. Should I be listening to this? And every time I would listen, something would happen. Or an angel would appear to let me know you're on the right track. So I shared this story. I think it's really amazing. It was a very crowded day on the freeway. There was a car accident. So 3 cars in front, this lady's car was struck. The 3rd car back, heard people say, this lady has died. We can't get a pulse, she's died. So a year or so passed by, and the lady who was in the 3rd car behind, she received a knock on her door. And there was a lady standing there with a big bouquet of flowers. And she said, who are you? And why do you want to bring me flowers? She said, over a year ago, you prayed for me on the freeway. She said, how did you know that? She said, because a light shined down from the heavens, from my car to your car.
I got chills. Sweet. That's crazy.
And it was during the time you can get a person's license number. And she went to DMV to find out, who is this lady who prayed for me? So the power of prayer. Some people call it, no, this is healing. It's something I do with people all the time. They call me the next morning and say, I feel great. I said, I know, because I gave it to God, who is the ultimate healer.
Yes. Yes.
And I ask God to work through me to help people. This is why they heal the way they do. And I can feel it even before they come in my presence. They heal. For those who want to. And one other little quick story. I don't know how I'm doing with time. Probably running out.
You have some time.
Okay.
7:41.
There's 2 that was very intense. This one was the most intense. It was a man who is a minister who came to my office with his wife. And when his wife came in with him at 10 o'clock in the day, I knew right away there was something wrong with that relationship. Because she comes in with a see-through top. So you have a husband as a minister and this top is totally see-through. Oh, you can see your boobs hanging all out, everything. I'm like,
friend.
something's wrong with this. So he comes in, there's a couple of questions I ask people, and I have to be in your face when I ask you this. Because I need to watch your pupils. I need to watch your eyes and how you answer this question. One is, do you want to live? And I knew he did because he called me so many times. Not his wife, he did. But when I looked at him very closely and I said, do you feel loved? He loved himself, but do you feel loved? He looked at me and he took a minute to answer. And I said, I'm waiting for your answer. And he finally said, no, I don't. So I glanced at the wife and she had tears, really one tear, coming down her face. And I said, well, I'm not a marriage counselor. I said, well, whatever's eating away at you, if you don't resolve it, it's going to kill you. I see it. You have stage 3, prostate, kidney, and liver. And he's a VA patient. And they diagnosed him. So I said, you got to make some changes. So why don't we start by praying? Because I pray with my patients first too. So the wife, she barely touched him. And I said, oops, that's another problem. She won't even touch this man. We're trying to hold hands and pray and she won't even touch him. Oh, this is a major problem. So we prayed and she never did look happy. But the one thing he said, I have 22 sisters and brothers back east. And he said, they love me. She doesn't, but they love me. I feel the love for my family, but she doesn't love me. So he went home. He owns a lot of property. He actually built a home for his wife and her children on his property. He finally went to go look at the property like 2 weeks after seeing me. They had totally destroyed the house. So he said, he remembered some things we had said. And he said, I'm not gonna even get angry. I'm gonna let her know I want a divorce. Because she's left me almost lying on the floor in pain, didn't even call 911 for me.
Wow.
You know, how could you treat another human being that way? And he told her, I want a divorce. I'm putting the property up for sale and the whole lot and getting rid of my horses and everything, but I'm gonna buy you a home. I'm not gonna just leave you without a house. I mean, I thought that was very generous to say, here, I'm gonna get your house. Second wife, he said, I married her because I didn't want to fornicate. Not a good reason to marry someone. Those are not good reasons. I think that's why my father was married 6 times, but you know, those are not good reasons to marry. But once he did that, now with me, he had maybe 5 or 6 IVs. You know, he's on a couple of products. But after he did that, he went back to the VA hospital. They found nothing. And they did a PET scan. I don't like PET scans. If a person has one, there's certain things I do after, so your body is not holding on to all the sugar from that contrast. And after he did that, I'm telling you, they couldn't believe it. So they did 2 PET scans, which was horrible. They said there's nothing. There's no abnormal cells in his body at all. With stage 3, actually going into stage 4. With just a couple IVs. So I told him, then I said, what is the face of these abnormals? So what is the face? Because I can tell by where it is in your body what's emotionally drained you in the first place. You know, if it's a pancreas, I know that something robbed you of your joy and you had hatred attached to it. So, and those are the people who will never seem to get happy. But that would attach there. If it's colon like mine was, that was that holding back, not letting go. Some of the thyroid, even though it was nuclear medicine, was during the time of that Michael Jackson trial when I couldn't really say all the things I wanted to say. So I suppressed things I needed to express. So it walled itself off. So it got worse with this CT scan because of the medicine. So when something is going on in someone's body, I can always look at them and say, okay, this is kind of what's happening, this is what's going on, and until you let go of that, you're not going to heal. So when we think of stem cells, you know, I'm taking this wonderful natural product, but I'm still dealing with the emotional component, because things happen daily. You know, why did this person didn't call me back? I almost thought my daughter was kind of upset with me about something. She said, no, Mom, I'm not upset, I'm fine. I've just been busy trying to get all this stuff together. So sometimes we could put things in our own head. So, you know, don't do that. Don't carry all these things in your own head. Let go of that stuff. And if you think positive, you're going to feel so much better. You'll feel like, it's so soothing to let go. It took me so long to forgive my ex-husband. I didn't know how way down I was. I didn't know how way down I was until I chiseled through that forgiveness. The forgiveness and letting go of the stuff. That finally, he's my patient now.
I hope they're charging him top dollar.
Oh, and he feels like he should pay. And he sends people to me. The funny thing is, they said, is it okay to go to your ex-wife? And he said, oh yeah, sorry, she's one of my best friends. And my kids said, well, I don't know about best friend, but she's still his friend, you know. But I'm telling you, it's just a level of feeling light. You can take all the supplements in the world, eat the best of food. That is not going to change it. It's letting go of the stuff. And you can see it. People, every time I chisel through something else, people say, oh my goodness, you just look so much lighter. You look this. Yeah, because I still work on me. It's a daily. It's a daily, because it's always things happening. A car cuts you off, you know, somebody calls and say something that kind of you don't like, and, you know, so constantly letting go. Letting go. You know, forgiving that person, forgiving yourself. In most cases, people don't take time to forgive them. So how do we have stem cells naturally? So I'm going to pose that question. So tell me, how would you think you would have stem cells naturally?
How would I have stem cells naturally?